Adam Bazalgette here, founder of Scratch Golf Academy. Today, golf shots, how to master the 50, 60-yard pitch shot. Let's delve into this. Regular, everyday golfers usually get a lot more of these than tour pros do. Important shots, we'll look at all aspects of it. So typically on a shot that was about 50 yards of this length, you're not going to have substantial directional problems. Direction is important, but with that much loft and relatively short shot distance, not a big deal. What's key is solid contact and controlling your distances. If you can do those things well, and who doesn't know that, you're going to be pretty good. Let's examine solid contact first, close up. So typical fairway lie, my 58-degree club has the sweet spot highlighted with a black dot there. You can see I need forward shaft lean to give me solid contact under these conditions. It has one other benefit as well. We'll get into that. So as we just said, forward shaft lean leads to solid contact. The second benefit, though, is it leads to a little bit lower trajectory. You will have better distance control from 50, 60 yards if you don't shoot the ball miles up in the air. You should have plenty of spin on the shot anyway, something we'll touch a bit on later in the video. For some people, though, if they're not really good at leaning the shaft, it may be a better choice to have a 50 or a 52-degree club or something like that. Now, let's say this, the more consistently you deliver the shaft lean, the better, let's say, your distance control is going to be. If one time you're delivering 54 degrees, another time it's 44 degrees, etc., you're going to be somewhat inconsistent. So we're going to tackle that. First, let's have a look in slow motion at a couple of general points. So stance fairly narrow, the ball center to slightly back, my weight's favoring my front leg. Notice in the pivot, I'm definitely going to stay centered to favoring my left side. I don't want to have to make a huge weight shift coming down. Now, as I come through, we'll see the weight clearly over to the left, head about over the ball, and plenty of shaft lean. You'll notice, though, in the frames leading to contact, the club's not driving into the ground. It's fairly level, but there's enough forward shaft lean to tilt the sweet spot and drive it out there at a nice trajectory. Now let's look close up for a moment. This is critical that you understand this. If you're going to support the club shaft at high speed, you need that trail arm, my right arm, turned in and pushing forward. You can apply pressure like that. And as you do that, you have to be able to tilt the face down. So elbow forward and under, wrist turned this way. It's really important that you get good at that. So like anything, once you know what you're doing, you have to practice it. Practice with that arm forward and turned under, tilt the wrist forward. Just making baby shots going through, not trying to drive the club into the ground. So you should feel like your hips are getting taller, your arms are taller. The thing you don't want in these practice swings is the club head getting way above you. So drive the right arm forward, tilt the face forward. These are sorts of things you can just practice at home or on the range, certainly as little rehearsals before each pitch. Now let's tackle a little bit about spin, different lies, and conclude with maybe benchmarking a yardage. Things that reduce spin, anything that gets between the club and the ball reduces friction. Grass in this case could be moisture on the ball or the club, could just be a dirty club. This is fairly clean, but not absolutely clean. Also, the quality of the ball. This is a Pro V, this is a high performance ball. The best race car drivers in the world in my car aren't going to win any races. So if you have a crummy ball and a dirty sand wedge and you're not paying attention to that stuff and it's worn out, you won't get the same sort of spin. So I have a shot here of about 50 yards. So once good at contact, in other words, job one is consistent trajectory and contact. If you don't have that, you are going to have a pretty hard time dialing distances. Once you have that reasonably, you want at least one benchmark distance. For me, in my day of playing, if my hands got just above hip high, plus some wrist cock, that was about a 40-yard shot if I made good contact with it. So in this case, I'm going to rehearse that, maybe add just a teaspoonful to that. Let's try one here. Get my weight there. Pushed it just a bit, but that is pretty much pin high. So dial in at least one benchmark shot, maybe two, trending more towards the late great Dave Pelz and his methods of having multiple swings. Solid contact, lower trajectory, spin. Those are your big keys though.